I didn't write anything for a while after Everything Connects, almost like 6, 7 years. And my publicist said that, hey, by the way, it's time to do another book. So, but I said, look, I'm very busy with my current projects. I really don't have the time to write. And he said, no, pandemic happened, and you have this ability to connect people on their, as a on a daily life perspective, but also from technological and socio, the global change point of view. So I started thinking about Lyft, and with this theory that everybody is has an opportunity to be leader because we so many things are accessible to us. But we always chase this idea of that we have to lift other if we want to be a leader. So the basic concept of the book is if you look at the changes of the drivers of changes post pandemic, a massive technological change, a lot of misinformation and divisiveness globally. You don't have, it doesn't matter whether you're on the right side or the left side. We are divided society, and we talk a lot about saving the planet from climate change and whatnot. So we use those four things as the key driver for change. And the fundamental argument was that if you really want to lift other, first you have to lift yourself and be adaptive with the systemic way of doing things. So by the way, so you talk about adversity. As I signed on to write this book, I started writing, and my son at that time was 18. He's now 21. He was going to he started his freshman year. And it turns out that he got diagnosed with a type of a blood cancer. So I almost did not write the book, but I pushed forward with the notion that I'm going to take all the proceeds of the lift and not, donate it to cancer research. So that's kind of drove finishing Lift, and then I released the second edition of Everything Connects and pushed out another book called Reinvent, which is around organizational transformation, all geared towards donation to cancer research. So as I said, writer writes gets motivation from different sources. Sometimes it is from adversity or inspiration from a positive point of view, or the global changes. So I find myself getting inspiration when there's like these massive personal or global changes that happens, and find the inspiration to pull some things together.
Preceding Reinvent, and I'll edit this in earlier, but can you give us just a little bit of a background on your entrepreneurial side so I have the little.
Sure, sure. So, I mean, through and through, I've been always a technology entrepreneur, but my technology, pursuit has been always to solve major organizational problem. Because I mean, if you look at, we do live in a world thrives on capitalism, world thrives on enterprise growth, it thrives on entrepreneurship. So I've always been the technologist who comes up with technology that accelerates growth for organization, right? So I've done several companies around this same theme, and usually these technologies are focused around managing systemically innovation and decision making so that organization can make better decisions. So for last 20 years, I've been kind of focusing on these large organizational transformation. And last 5 years, I have been taking this technology and these methods that I have and applying to our federal government, more specifically to Department of Defense and other large agencies, so that the agencies can perform better in terms of what they're doing, so that it has an impact on citizens or of the security of our country.
And what would you say a few of the main methodologies are if they're not top secret?
No. I mean, methodologies are actually rolled out in the book. So in Reinvent, we have a methodology that allows you to kind of assess your current state, where you are, come up with a roadmap where you want to go in terms of your, impact-driven roadmap. So you say, look, we want to be more secure. We want to have more citizen engagement. we want to have more revenue, whatever the case may be. You have a particular methodology to analyze and do your risk analysis to see what that roadmap looks like. And you can put different matrix around that roadmap so that you can prioritize the execution. And then you have a series of techniques that allows you to track the progress around that roadmap, but also abandon the things that are not working. And it's all this in the context of cross collaboration and bringing people together, because nothing works if you don't do that. And then then how do you really measure those impact? Meaning, did it really add the value?
You have an acronym here: Learn, Investigate, Formulate, Take Off, and Study, LIFTS, within
Right.
Reinvent. Talk about
Right.
that if you would. Sure.
So that's really the methodology. So if you look at learn, it's learning where you are today, right? Investigate is, okay, where are the opportunities are, and then the formulate is formulating your roadmap, and then launching that execution, and then studying what's working and what's not working, and recreating a better path than where you are today to make it better. So it's a continuous evolution, because it's a journey. Transformation is not a one-time thing. We're constantly evolving and we're constantly changing, especially because of all the technology that are available. I mean, you've seen in last 24 months, or especially last 12 months, how much conversation we are having around artificial intelligence, right? I mean, so it's not just artificial intelligence, but all kind of technology, but artificial intelligence being a primary one. So it allows us to do a lot of things, but it also, forces us to be highly responsible, because if we are not using this technology in the right way, then we can also cause a lot of harm. I mean, look what social media has done, right? I mean, it has connected us globally, but it also has created a very divisive society. Now we can probably talk next 24 hours just about the possibilities and the cautiousness of something like AI and what could possibly do to us, right? But with power, technology is a power, and enablement comes great responsibility. So individually and as society and organization and leaders, we have to start thinking very hard and fast. How do we put wraps around the harmful nature of this technology, and how do we protect ourselves so that we don't lose humanity as a whole altogether? One of the greatest things I've done for myself is that I've traveled so much, and I'm a big Anthony Bourdain fan. I mean, the notion of traveling and getting to know other culture and etc. It has a huge impact in your thinking process and how you take these different ideas and then create your own life. It's not just coming up with the innovative product or a business, it's how you craft yourself. So that constant isolation is not sustainable or very productive. But there's a fine balance, right? I mean, people love freedom, and it's actually is a paradoxical statement that I've used in Everything Connects repeatedly. People like freedom and people like structure, right? So because you have to kind of have that freedom to consume all the things that you want to consume, to learn and have this idea that, well, I'm not really feeling motivated today, I'm going to do this thing. You got to allow people to do that, because there's a benefit to slow down and benefit to do something that's not the part of the norm, right? But you have to bring that back to a structural way of taking that thing and producing something. So I don't believe in this idea of that all you have to do is constantly be remote and never see another soul. It doesn't really work. Nor I believe in the idea that you have to force people to be in the office 9 to 5, and that's the only way to be productive. And neither one works. You have to balance it, right? That transformational leadership comes from having the practice of empathy that allows you to really understand what's really driving a particular person and motivating them from their personal point of view, not what is it that you want, and and explaining why they matter in the context of what you're trying to do as an organization. And so the leader's job is really inspiring, influencing, and showing them the way, not controlling them. If you try to control them, you're not going to be very creative or innovative organization.